What's up, everybody? This is Podcast Gameoverse, episode 053 for Saturday, December 19, 2020. I'm here with Rick.
What
How you
up?
doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
So, I think we just jump right into it, man. So I've been playing Cyberpunk.
On PC, I hope.
Yeah, so we've been gone for a while. So I was gone for like the last week, and I was watching the first few days of this. I was just watching like in horror, like, oh man, what the hell is happening, man? What the fuck is going down with Cyberpunk? And so I didn't get the chance to play it before I knew that there were issues. But I didn't really let that. I don't really let that. Oh, let me. That's not supposed to play yet.
That's the show, everybody. It's great. Thank you. Good night.
But I didn't really like hold any of that stuff to the back of my mind. Like I knew that there were bugs from the reviews that came out. They were saying, "Oh man, it's really buggy," and so I was like, "Okay, whatever. It's probably fine." And yeah, so for the most part, for like my playthrough, I played, where am I, like 12 hours in now? Maybe like 13, 14 hours. The game's good.
Yeah, the game's solid when it's functioning. But oh fuck. You have a lot to go over with that.
I love there's just a ton of like dialogue. It's a really slow paced, dialogue heavy game, at least from the start. Like I'd say it's like 80% dialogue and then like 20% combat action stuff. Which I don't know,
I'm okay with that.
I'm all right with it. Like I like Tarantino movies are kind of like real dialogue heavy, but that's the stuff I kind of want out of like a Tarantino movie, where it's they're really focusing on the dialogue, but then when there is action, it's good action too.
And that's important for the world building because we have other like first person shooter RPGs, We got like Borderlands, we got Prey, we got fucking Fallout. And so it's the world and the characters around it that help separate some of that stuff out. And I think Cyberpunk nails that perfectly.
Yeah.
But, there's other issues the game doesn't nail so well.
Yeah, and the game leaves a very good first impression. Like I was fucking into it. Those first 4 hours before my game fucked up were like incredible. Like I wanted to keep going. I did keep going. So the very first mission with Jackie in the game, which I think I think they addressed this and like they just put out a new patch, but I played for 4 hours, and the very first mission you go out on with Jackie, right at the very end, I caught a bug where he wouldn't walk out of the building that we were in, but we needed to talk to him. And like I found the combat I'm playing on hard mode, by the way, because I heard like in the some of the reviews that the normal mode was like too easy. Yeah, so I started on hard mode. The difference between the normal mode and the hard mode is like fucking incredible.
Oh,
so
yeah?
when I got to the first like combat tutorial area, I was getting my fucking ass handed to me, man. And I couldn't figure out what the fuck. You can get hacked by NPCs. You can get hacked by other enemies and like cameras and shit, I guess. But I couldn't tell what the fuck was happening. I kept catching on fire. It was like, hey, you're getting overloaded, and now you're on fire. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And it didn't matter if I went behind cover, if I went behind walls or whatever the fuck. I just kept exploding, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then Hamtaro was in the chat and he was like, yeah, you're getting hacked. And I'm like, but fucking who? Like, there's nobody around behind cover. So still, I don't even know if that was a glitch or if that's like supposed to be like that, but like I still have no idea, but it was very annoying. And this was the very first tutorial combat area. It was just difficult as fuck, man. I was getting pissed off actually. So like it took me like 2 hours just to get past that zone. And then when I finally cleared it, Jackie wouldn't walk out of the area we were in. So like I walked out and then like these cops walk in and then there's a guy that like blocks you from walking back in. So like I had a thing that was like, go talk to Jackie, and he's still inside there. And there was a guy blocking me while I was trying to walk in. I was like, did this shit bug out? So it did. And so I ended up having to load my a previous save, which I don't know what the fuck is up with the saves in this game, but it'll save like once every minute. It'll make an auto save, which is cool because like you go to like load game and you'll see just like 20, like you see your history of like 20 saves that you can load. So like if anything fucked up along the way, you can just load a previous save and you just have a ton of them. But for whatever reason, my shit didn't save for like a very long time. So I just went through the entire ordeal of this mission and I didn't have a like a save that was nearby where I just was. So I ended up having to do like most of the entire mission again. And you know, for how fucking difficult it was, I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna stop here and like just redo this off stream. And it wasn't any easier off stream, but I did it again and yeah. And then like every mission, every combat encounter I got into after that wasn't anywhere near as difficult. Like, I don't know what the fuck it was, but it seems like
sounds like it was like some bad enemy placement or something. And maybe the game had like the wrong enemies loaded in for that first fight, so you're just getting your ass kicked by stuff you couldn't see. I don't know.
It seems like the game might be a little unfinished. Because I don't know, they put a lot of time into. It seems like they put a lot of time into this opening mission stuff, and like everything else after that is lackluster. There was a good downturn in my enjoyment with this game. I don't know, after about like 10 hours where shit just started falling the fuck apart. I mean, I don't think I like this game at all.
Oh no.
Like it started off really good and interesting, but like the longer I played, the more I was like, am I like enjoying this? The hacking specifically, well, it's a lot of things because there's a lot of components there's a lot of mechanics in this game, but to me, it doesn't feel like any of them mesh well with each other.
Yeah.
So the hacking specifically seems like it's just from another game entirely. And then you have like the gunplay, which doesn't mix well with the hacking. Cause I played Watch Dogs Legion like right before this. Right. And that's a game that is a hacking game, but it's also like a third person shooter. And the way the hacking works in that game is this: you hit the X button and you fucking hack. Like that's all you got to do. You don't stop. You don't have to aim at anything. You don't have to do anything. Just hit the fucking X button and it hacks. And this, you have to completely stop what you're doing, enter a separate aiming mode for hacking, aim at whatever you need to hack, whatever you want to look at. And then if there's like shit in the way, you have to you can't, unless you have a direct line of sight, you can't like aim at what the fuck you need to aim at. And it puts tons of bullshit in the scenery, like, hey, this is an explosive barrel here, or here's a collectible item you can pick up, or here's a computer you can interact with. All of that stuff is in the hacking overlay. So like if you want to like tag a specific enemy and there's shit in the way, you can't fucking get to it. It's super frustrating. And it's like the hacking is like a 4-button thing. We have to hack, you have to hold the aiming button, you have to use the D-pad to scroll to whatever hack you want to do, and then you have to use the right stick to like specifically aim at it because you need a direct line of sight. And
that sounds annoying. God damn.
It was just annoying as fuck to use. It just didn't feel as seamless as it was in Watch Dogs, which I didn't even have to put my gun down on Watch Dogs. I could just keep running, hit the X button, hack a guy, run up on him, snatch him in a stealth move. Stealth in this game, like, I don't know, like there's stealth, but I feel like the stealth scenarios aren't very good. Like you get seen through walls, and like I didn't find the stealth very reliable. There's hand-to-hand combat, which fucking sucks. Boy, the fucking melee combat sucks, dude.
I heard, I heard like a lot of people like play that game like, oh, I want to be like a cyber hacker ninja, and then they go into it and they realize like, oh, the hacking sucks dick and the melee sucks dick.
Yeah, and the gameplay sucks. Or the shooting, like the range combat is just super unsatisfying. Because again, it feels like a less fun Borderlands where none of the guns are fun to use. All of the enemies are bullet sponges. You'll get headshots and it'll be like headshot, critical, but they still have like 90%. They're still not going down.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of my shotguns, so. Like, I don't know. I like it when a shotgun is satisfying. It's when a shotgun is satisfying, shit just fucking explodes. But in this, it's just they don't feel good. And then every weapon just feels the fucking same. It's just generic ass assault rifle, shotgun, handgun, rifle, submachine gun. Like all the weapons look the same. They feel the same. They're not satisfying to use in the least bit. There are unique weapons, but they're so few and far between, and it's just not fun.
See, and that's such a bummer, dude, because like I was like excited for this game with seeing all the announcements and the trailers they had done and seeing the hype for it. I was stoked for this game, dude. In fact, like this is the thing I want to bring up earlier. I was like thinking about like investing in CD Projekt Red stock because I really thought this game was gonna just put them on the map. I mean, it did, but for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I didn't have this voice in my head that was like, "Hey, you don't fucking know anything about stock. Just don't even bother." And I'm glad I didn't because oh boy, like their stock tanked after this, dude. It's bad. It's so bad.
The
Those of you who don't know, which you probably should. I mean, the game was bugged like hell at launch, not just on PC but console too. I've heard the word unplayable thrown out a lot when describing the console ports, specifically the last gen ports. PS4, Xbox One.
It's the performance that this game doesn't run very well. Even like. And like my system's not a slouch by any means, but I could tell that this game was not running the way it was supposed to be running. There would be times where like I'd be getting a stable 60, and then someone would walk into frame, or like what would do it every time was when there was a cutscene where someone handed my character a thing. And then she would look at it, and then consistently my frame rate would drop to like 20. I don't know why. It was just like, hey, here's these credit chips, check it out. And then like it would be like an animation where a character would hand me something, and then my frame rate would drop to 20 frames,
That's a
and
really
then
weird time for frame rate dropping.
yeah, and
When you
nothing
were
else.
saying that, I thought it would be like, oh, when I like threw a grenade or I was hacking and there's some sort of effect. But like looking at something, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it usually wasn't during gameplay. It would always be like when an animation, like my character was like doing an animation, like someone walks over to the side of the car, and my character would like swipe over to look at them, and it would drop to 20 frames for some reason, and then, but it would come back up after like 6 or 7 seconds. It'd come back, but nothing would have changed. Like nothing has changed in the scene other than things just
Like
moved.
the animation that played out.
Yeah, the animation. So like that was very weird. The settings in the game didn't really behave like they were supposed to. So like I spent like 2 hours just dialing in the settings because I was like, what the fuck? Like, is this supposed to be happening? Like I would change, like I would set something to ultra and it would perform better than it would on medium. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And then I would have to hit the escape button and then escape back out to the game, and then it jumped back up to 60 frames. And I'd be like, okay, I can't tell what's going on here. Is this supposed to, like, am I getting the graphics I'm supposed to be getting? Or so like I
frustrating as a motherfucker, dude. Oh my god.
And this was days after the game was already out. I didn't play it until the game was already out.
Yeah.
So yeah, here you can see on the stream that I'm behind cover, but like I'm still getting hacked. I'm still getting like this overheat thing. Like I was just super fucking confused as to what was happening with that shit.
Yeah.
There's like surveillance cameras all over the place, and I don't know. I found like the most efficient way to play was just to like tiptoe through every area and just like scan everything, like not even use your gun really, just play it like using bitch tactics, or you just get hacked, your asshole hacked. And then you saw, okay, so you can interact with computers and interact with the network and disable all the cameras on the network. And I swear I did that like almost every time, every opportunity I had to disable the entire network, I did. But then, I don't know I guess if you die and load your game, all the cameras come back on, but the network is still disabled. But all the cameras come back on. So that confused the fuck out of me. I don't know if that's a bug or if they just turn back on after a while. Like there's a lot of things that happen in this game where it's like, I don't know if this is a bug or if this is the way it's supposed to happen, because like it's a cyberpunk hacking game. So like pretty much shit is like supposed to fuck up in a way.
Yeah.
In terms of like hacking and shit. But you
that's
just
supposed to be like a narrative thing. The game's not supposed to fall apart. Like
yeah.
Oh God.
The story is good. The characters are really good. But I don't know. I got to a point in the story where it was like, oh, where's Dandelion? Where's Siri thing going on? Where there's this chick Evelyn who you're trying to find, and yeah, it was like a real like Witcher type thing where it was like we were just going from place to place looking for her, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. So then I kind of just only did the main missions up until that point.
Yeah.
So then I started focusing on the side missions, which everyone said fucking, oh no, you gotta do the side missions, man. That's where all the good shit is. Start doing the side missions, and I gotta tell you, I don't see it. I didn't see it. Side missions were like, I had one that was like one chain of missions that were straight just brawling missions, just like Fight Club style type shit. And that's when I found out how bad the fucking melee combat was. And then there was another one that was like I don't know, like a GTA style, like, hey, there's a bunch of cars on the map that you got to capture. Again, just another chain of like those missions. And I'm like, is this like where everyone wants to defend this game and say like, oh, it's not like a GTA, man. It's a fucking RPG. But even like the RPG shit here, there's a lot of GTA style shit in this game. There's also like a lot of just boring ass RPG type shit. Like I feel like there's no like it's not breaking any ground. I'm just not seeing what the fucking yeah.
And I see where people are coming from. I mean, let's be honest here. A lot of people pre-ordered that game, so they're just trying to justify their pre-order. That's what's going on. You know, let's not pretend that's not what it is. You know, if you're gonna drop $60 on a game by day one, take the day off work to go play it, it's gonna be hard to admit it might be a shit game.
Yeah, man, there's so much shit I want to talk about in this game, man. The Night City, the city, it's incredibly boring. Like it's a very well made, beautiful city. Don't get me wrong, but there's like not shit. There's not shit to do in it. There's nothing to interact with. There's like nothing to do. Like, I mean, everyone wants to say how fucking immersive this fucking game is. Oh, I'm so immersive, but I've seen better. I've seen better. Like you want to talk immersion, like this game doesn't come close to me in terms of like Red Dead Redemption 2 was like some of the most immersive shit like that I've ever experienced in a video game. This doesn't come close to that. Not even a femtosecond or a, you know.
And like that's a huge bummer because like it's such a shame to see that happen. Because I remember when this game got announced, you know, it wasn't even like an announcement, it was like a teaser trailer. And I don't know if you remember, but when CD Projekt Red announced it, at the end of their little like teaser, they said coming when it's ready. And that was a fucking lie.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus, man. This is so I know you're talking about like I feel like a big part of it comes from the fact the game is unfinished. You know, they couldn't put all the immersive details in it they wanted to. They couldn't plan out the side quests like they wanted to on top of the performance stuff. Like it's one thing for a game to come out be kind of buggy and frustrating, but for a game to be like unfinished. No, that's like the closest I can compare it to is like Final Fantasy 15. You know, a lot of the complaints I have with Final Fantasy 15 were the same that you're having with Cyberpunk. Not just on performance, but just the fact that the side quests feel hollow. It's not immersive at all.
Remember a couple weeks ago when I was like, yeah, you know, I see this being like another No Man's Sky, and you thought I was fucking crazy for saying that.
I did think you're fucking crazy, and now look, it is a No Man's Sky. It's Cyberpunk.
Honestly,
it's a No Man's Sky. It's Fallout 76. It's Cyberpunk 2076. I stole your joke there.
But like, I honestly don't think that they can fix a lot of it. I mean, they can fix it, but it's going to take a fucking long ass time.
It is time that should have been spent just in development instead of releasing it.
But I don't know. I find it incredibly average. Like I don't see anything special about this game aside from like the dialogue is really good, the characters are really good, the voice acting is really good. But I don't know, everything else. I didn't enjoy myself until I got to Johnny Silverhand. There's a section, this might be a bit of a spoiler, but there's a section where you like play as Johnny Silverhand for a second and you get his gun. And fuck, man, his gun is the way that every gun should feel in this fucking game. I didn't enjoy shit until I had his gun, and just fucking, you're just one-shotting motherfuckers, blowing people's heads off, and then he's doing his like his reload animation. He flips the gun around and fucking. I'm like, dude, this is how this game should feel the entire time. But I don't know if I have to play fucking 50 hours before I can get all the upgrades to finally start
Yeah.
enjoying myself. Like that's not. I'm not doing that. Um.
And it's okay to feel that way. Like I'm not gonna shit on you feeling that way. Like we're fucking adults. We got shit to do, man. We don't have time to wait for a game to get good. Like, and
Yeah.
that's the shittiest part about it is that I was so hyped for this game, and I fell into the marketing. I was excited for it. The only reason why I didn't buy it day one is my computer was fucked. Or else I would have bought it day one. I would just as disappointed as everyone else was.
Yeah.
Ah,
So
fuck, man. It
I don't
sucks. It
know.
sucks. It sucks that happened.
I mean, I went into this game with no, like, I'm talking like bugs aside, like all those issues aside, I don't think it's even like that great of a game. Like,
Yeah.
it's okay. Um, like, so I don't know. It's, like I'm probably going to try to finish it, but, um, Hamtaro says come back to it in Feb. I uninstalled it until then. I don't want to like.
Yeah, Cyberpunk or CD Projekt Red has like a fucking like timeline of stuff they're gonna be dropping. They're gonna be dropping huge updates in January and February is their final planned update. But like Jesus,
Yeah.
man, this is a single player game, and we have roadmaps for bug fixes. Like what the fuck? I remember when Anthem came out, like, oh, here's a roadmap of all the content we have for the next 2 years. Now CG Project Red, now fucking Cyberpunk comes out. It's like, oh, here's a roadmap of all the fixes we have for the next year or the next like
Yeah.
3-4 months.
But I don't want to see
Oh,
fixes. I want to see them like make the game better because there's like so here's what's missing from the game that
yeah,
I would like to have. Character customization is fucking abysmal in this game.
but
I
you can
mean,
customize your genitals though.
yeah, you get two penises and vagina. But like I don't know. I want to see you. There's only like pre-selected presets for like everything. There's no like sliders. There's no morphs.
Ah, what?
That
I didn't even know that. That's frustrating.
yeah. So everyone's character ends up looking about the same. Like there's no there's a decent amount of like hairstyles and stuff like that, but there's like I don't know. There's like 12 faces and like you can't make a fat there's no weight, so you can't make a fat character. You can't make like a tall or short character. Once you've made your character, you can't change it at all. So I mean, this is a game that's about like transhumanism and modifying your body and shit like that, but you can't even so much as change your fucking hairstyle after you make it, or even your hair color and shit.
Frustrating.
You'll see people walking down the street that have like metal arms and shit like that, and like, I'm like, dude, I want this character looks fucking awesome, dude, but like you can't make anything that looks anything like that. All the outfits, you this is another game that's like the game is like kind of about style as well, but you can't wear stylish items because they all have stats attached to them. So like if you want to like wear something that looks cool, it might not have the stats you want. So like you have to make a compromise between looking cool and having like being geared up.
So
Which
frustrating.
that's not something I really care about. Like typically I'm just gonna it's a first person game. You can't see your character. So I'm like, I don't give a fuck what I look like. I'm just gonna put on whatever's whatever has the best stats on it. But it's a very Borderlands style of I'm just gonna use whatever has the bigger numbers. Like that's the only considerations you have to make. Unless there's some like perks in the skill tree that make it so you like have to use that you have to actually think about what you're using. But every time you're just picking up fucking shitload of weapons, they just hand you items, by the way. Like I had like 50, by the time I finished the prologue, I had like 50 or 70 healing items. It's ridiculous. And like 100 grenades.
Oh Jesus.
But you're constantly running out of ammo though. there's just like, it doesn't seem like there's like an imbalance in in the game that's just like not it just doesn't work for me.
That's so
Um
frustrating. God damn it. I'm so glad. Like, I never thought I'd say this, but I'm kind of glad my computer took a shit, so I never had to like experience this game.
like, bugs aside, there's like a ton of stuff that they need to add. Like, I don't want to see fixes. Well, I do want to see fixes, but I also want to see them like add like a transmog thing so I can at least wear the items I want, and not have to suffer like from the bad stats, or I don't know. Like, I don't. There's a lot of stuff in this game that needs to be fixed, man, or like
Yeah.
added to, or it's, I don't know. I just don't know if they're gonna get there for me. Maybe people who just are already enjoying it, um, they'll get there, but I don't think it'll get there for me. So,
It's such a bummer. I was so excited for this game too. Like, it's such a shitty thing to happen.
but so I drew up a timeline of events for this game
Yeah.
because this stuff just started like happening even like before the game come out came out. Which,
Yeah.
okay, so like 2 days before the game come out came out. This is what I was watching this from the sidelines because I was away, so like I was
Hmm.
just watching this stuff happen, and I'm on YouTube a lot. I watch a lot of reviewers, and here's this is a huge issue to me. Is
Hmm.
they put out a review embargo for the seventh,
Hmm.
and they only gave PC copies. They didn't give anyone the console version. And on top of that, they said you cannot show any of your own footage. And right
Jesus.
there is a fucking red flag, because they're preventing people from showing the actual state of the fucking game. Like, CD Projekt Red knew that the game was a fucking mess, especially on consoles. So they're like, okay, no one gets the console version because we can't show people that. And then also, we're going to give you the PC version, but you can't show anyone what you're seeing. You can only use footage that we give you, or footage from the trailers and shit. So like, I immediately, so if you're on our Discord, I've ranted about this on the Discord like a little bit. I
Yeah.
was like, anyone who puts out a fucking review under those circumstances, immediately I distrust.
Yeah, that's sketchy as shit. And I remember that. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, what the fuck? Like, you didn't do that for Witcher. Like, what's wrong with this game? And we found out exactly what was wrong with this game when it finally came out and the embargo was lifted.
Yeah, it's just, because like, who are you serving at that point? Like, the reviews are for the consumer, man. Like, you need to inform the consumer about the what they can expect when they buy this game. But when you obfuscate everything like that, it's, who are you serving at that point?
Yeah, it's just
You're gonna put a 10 out of 10 on a review where the version you're playing is not the version that the people are going to be playing, because there's this supposed huge day one patch incoming. So we don't even know what that's going to entail. But on top of that, you can't show us what the game looks like, and no one has that console version to even tell us what that's going to be like. So I don't know. So all the reviewers that I kind of follow on YouTube, or I mean, there was only like one, but I don't know. They put out these reviews, and I'm like, dude, this is not. I'm not getting any info out of this. This is not how things should be done. Um,
exactly, and it's because CD Projekt Red didn't want people to tell them how the game was. They wanted them to tell people to buy the game. Like, that's the problem.
yeah, or
And
they didn't want people to
uh,
cancel their pre-orders.
yep.
So that happened on the 7th. Then on the 9th, the game came out, and then people really fucking saw how that the game was.
Yeah.
Um, you know, it was unfinished, buggy as fuck. Console versions are dumpster fire. Um, the console versions got review bombed
Hmm.
on Metacritic. I'm not sure what they're sitting at now, but yeah, you know, people finally saw the actual state of the game. I think some of those console versions leaked out ahead of time. People were streaming those, so they, you know, people started seeing them beforehand. But that's when the shit hit the fan. People started just getting fucking. It was bad. So on the 14th, IGN put out their review for the console version specifically and gave it a 4 out of 10.
Which
Uh,
I've never seen. I don't think I've ever seen IGN release a review on a specific console version of a game. Like the only time I could think of that was when like the Wii U came out, and they're like, "Oh, here's the Wii U review for some of these games you've already played." But it was basically just the same review copy pasted with like a little addendum at the end of the Wii U features, and that's it.
yeah,
But they it sounds like, but with this they made a whole separate video, a whole separate review just on the console version. Like that's goddamn, that's frustrating. It's frustrating, and it sucks that like people look at CD Projekt Red. A lot of people like, oh, the Witcher guys are gonna make a great game, and they fell for the same like trappings you see coming out of like EA and Ubisoft.
yeah. And people want to point and be like, well, no, everyone wanted them to launch the game, so they launched the game, and this is what you get. But you don't make a decision like that just because people want you to launch it. Like that's not it's not up to the fans when a game gets launched.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
they already
And
made this decision themselves.
exactly. And they had already postponed the game a couple times. Like we know what happened. We know what happened. They had postponed the game a couple times. Shareholders got pissy, told them to drop the game already. And they did drop the game, and this is what we got. Like this isn't the fans asking for it. Like don't fucking blame the fans for asking for it, because that's not what happened. We all know that's not what happened.
And then there's
Look at all the
people
stupid
that
shit people ask for in like all kinds of games. When has that company ever bent over backwards to do something that stupid? Come
uh,
on, get out of here.
then there's people that are like, well, what did you expect for how it to run on those old consoles? But I don't know, dude. I played Horizon Zero Dawn on my PS4, my base PS4. I played Death Stranding on my base PS4. I played The Last of Us Part 2 on my base PS4. Um, you know, Ghost of Tsushima on my base PS4. I mean, these are games that run incredibly well on a base PS4. Cyberpunk's not doing anything new or crazy here.
Hmm.
It's not. I really don't think there's any excuse for the way it's running.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't think so either, and I'm not defending them. Like that's people who are defending it. Like why? What is there to defend here? Even if you argue like, well, what do you expect the game to run on this old console? No, if they're gonna fucking charge $60 to sell it on this old console, it better fucking run.
yeah,
If it was totally impossible, they shouldn't have been selling it. If the excuse was, well, what do you expect? It's an old system. Don't fucking sell it on the old system then. But they did. So yeah, we're gonna get pissed because people paid money to play this game on their PS4 and they can't. So get out of here with that. That's a fucking stupid excuse.
yeah. And then there's also like people going like, man, people need to stop bitching and just enjoy the game. I'm like, there's literally millions of people who can't play the game at all to even enjoy it. That's not.
Yeah.
um, but they put out this. So they CDPR put out this fucking apology on Twitter saying that they're gonna put out a patch by the 21st, which that patch is out now for consoles, but it's not out for PC yet. Um, and they said they're going to release 2 large patches, one in January and another one in February. Um, which I'm super curious as to what those patches are going to entail,
Yeah,
and
same.
just what's going to happen after that. Uh, like, because I don't know if you remember The Witcher 3, they did update that game with like more like fixes that people wanted. Like they added like a whole like new control scheme because people hated how it controlled. Um,
hmm I remember playing base Witcher, and the game didn't have like a storage system to store your stuff in. So like everything you can carry in the game, all the items you can hold, had to be like on your person. Like there wasn't like a chest or a storage system or a house you can drop your shit off in, and they added that in about a month or two later. So like they're
yeah,
totally capable of doing it, but you know how far when Witcher came out, people liked it. Like that's the thing. Despite that, people still liked the game. It still got positive reviews, and that stuff they did was just extra stuff. You know, it was icing on the cake per se. This is like they're fixing a game here. That's the difference.
yeah.
You know, they're not adding more to a game people liked. They're making a game playable for the first time. Like that's
So
it's frustrating. It's not whole
um,
thing leaves a bad taste in my mouth, dude. I hate it.
in
I
this
hate it.
post, they also claim that they're going to allow people to get refunds, or they're
hmm
encouraging people to get refunds, or say, hey, go wherever you purchase the game, ask PSN for a refund, ask Xbox for a refund, ask GameStop for a refund, and if you can't do it, ask us. And but only up till December 21st, which is like fucking like what? Like I don't understand why they put a time limit on this. I mean, I
Yeah,
do,
what about
but
I do too. Like, they don't want people like flipping the game or buying the game, I should say, and then like trading or getting a refund
finishing
on it.
it, like
Yeah, but at the same
buying it,
time,
finishing it,
like,
and then refunding it is like kind of the scumbag
but at the
moves.
same,
But
yeah, but at the same time, like, I'm sure a lot of people like are getting that game for Christmas. You know, already after that refund has been stopped. So
yeah.
what happens to them? You know, they open the game up Christmas morning. They pop it in, they wait 3 hours for that day one patch to download, and they play it like, oh, this game plays like shit.
I mean, by that time you have to know, like, right? Like, you'd have to know if you're like,
I mean, it
if it's
depends, man.
bad.
Like, what if like you're a parent like buying a game for their kid or something? I know it's not a kid's game, but or like a girlfriend buying a game for their
From
boyfriend
what
or
I
other way
understand,
around.
this is all over the news. Um, like this has been on like it's all over the news. I think because like if you're not in the know, I think people do know this game as the Keanu Reeves game. So
Mm.
you know that put it a lot more in the public eye outside of gaming. That I think people do know about it, and then this catastrophe uh, put it even more out there. So I think
I hear you.
more people do know about it outside the scope of just like gaming enthusiasts. But um, so yeah, so they said that about the refunds, and then fucking uh on the 17th, Sony fucking removed the game from the PlayStation Network, and guarantees everyone who wants a refund will get a refund. Um, and then
Which is good on them.
this is where shit got real. Because it is unprecedented that a game gets removed from the fucking store.
hmm
I mean, even
Fucking
for
Life of Black Tiger never got removed. So, just to kind of show you what that means. Those of you don't know what we're
um,
talking about, Google Life of Black Tiger, and you'll be like, oh, holy shit.
I mean, and nothing's ever gotten removed, at least from like not for it being like a buggy, not for it being just a bad game or just a buggy bad
Yeah.
game, you know. Uh like there's plenty of bad games on PlayStation Store, but this is the one which I kind of I don't know. I was thinking that they're not doing this for the people. They're doing this for themselves.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
definitely a good PR move, dude.
um.
Separate yourself from CD Project Red.
Well, I don't know if people want to buy the game, knowing the bullshit, they should be able to do that. Um, because you can't play it because from what I understand, it runs mostly fine on the next gen consoles,
Yeah.
but you can't buy it. You know, you can't buy it. So,
Hmm.
or at least you can't buy it digitally. You can still buy the disc, but you know you might not. You can't get a refund on that usually.
So
So
how do you think, if you could elaborate a little bit more, then how do you think Sony's doing this for themselves? Because like you
well,
said, like if they're gonna let you buy it, like they'll still make the money on it regardless. So like how do you figure that?
they're doing this for themselves, specifically for their like support team. I'm thinking like
Mm,
because they're getting just a shitload of calls, and I mean Cyberpunk CD Project Red specifically told people, "Hey, call PSN, call Sony, uh, for that refund." And Sony doesn't do refunds. I don't know if anyone knows this, but they don't do
yeah,
refunds. So uh,
I managed to get a refund once from Sony.
you really got to
Once,
wrestle them. You got to get lucky.
once, yes,
It like
yes. What happened
depends
was,
on who you talk to, basically.
yes, I got super lucky because my dad wanted to buy the Samurai Showdown collection on PSN, and this was back on the PS3, where you can see PSP games on your
Oh,
PS3. Yes. So when he bought it, he didn't know it was a PSP game, so he couldn't play it. And I already had a PSP, but I couldn't download it because he bought it on his profile. So
well, that
he
they'll
told me,
refund you for that. Like that
yeah,
kind of stuff, they'll
yeah,
refund you for.
yeah. And the
Um,
only reason they refunded is because we never downloaded it. That was the only reason why.
yeah,
Because
I
they wouldn't
know
let him download. Well,
our
they let him download it, but it wouldn't. He couldn't boot it. That was the problem. So
um,
they, when that happened, they let us refund it. That was the only time I've ever been able to wrestle a refund from them.
I know our old friend Raven bought Amy on PS3, and
Ooh,
he downloaded it and played it and streamed it and was like, "This game sucks. I'm gonna refund it." And he actually got a refund for that. So I mean, it sucks. Here we go. But um, but
yeah,
I
I've that surprises me. I've never heard of that, but
um I
uh,
think specifically with Cyberpunk, it's the biggest game of the year. So they're getting just overwhelmed with support calls like out the fucking ass. So it's easiest for them just not allow people to buy the game
hmm
from their platform. Um, so they won't have to deal with that shit. And it
yeah.
also
Plus,
takes
they kind of look like heroes too, because it's like they're keeping people from buying a shitty game. So
kind of, but
it
at the
definitely
same
it's a good
time,
PR move.
I think they went a little too far with that, but um they should tell people, hey, this game is fucked up. If you want a refund, you can get it. They should just allow people to refund the game if they want to. Like
Yeah.
buy it. They should let you to buy it, play it. If you don't like it, fucking just refund, no questions asked. That's what Microsoft
Well,
is doing.
the problem with that too is that like a lot of people don't think about, this is something like working retail for so long, is that if you, when you buy something with your card, like a Visa, MasterCard, there's fees charged to the bank that gets charged to the distributor. So like Sony would be paying these fees to Visa, MasterCard, American Express every time you use it. So I'm sure there's a monetary reason too, because even if they refund you the money, they're still out that fee from them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I'm sure
yeah.
there's a monetary reason too. Like, if, oh, we just stop people from buying the game, we don't have to do any more refunds, so we're not paying these fees.
But even
Which
if that's what it
it's not
is,
big. It's like a couple dollars, but you know, if millions of people are refunding it, like that can add
yeah,
up.
even if that's the reason, it's still not because it's a bad game. It's like still because they don't want to have to fit the bill.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah,
yeah,
like
they're
I
definitely not doing
don't.
it out of the goodness of their heart. Like this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
it's a
Um,
monetary slash PR move from them, I think.
but that's
Yeah.
fucking huge. That when okay, so when that happened, that's when this shit fucking just blew the fuck up, man. Like
Yep.
that's
Yep.
when this shit blew the fuck up. Like man, front pages on Reddit, fucking Twitter blew up. Everyone made their fucking little YouTube videos about it. Like shit got crazy, man. Yeah, like in the history of my fucking gaming years, I've never seen that happen. So, except on like I think Batman Arkham Knight on Steam was removed for a couple months.
I remember that. Yeah.
But like that was nowhere near that there was nowhere near this level.
Hmm.
Um, um, so so everyone was wondering how like oh what's Microsoft gonna do? Microsoft's guaranteeing refunds.
Hmm.
That's it. You can still buy the game, which yeah, I think that's a better move because you can still let people buy the game because I don't know. There's a lot of people even on base PS4s. It's like, I'm playing it and yeah, there's issues, but I'm enjoying it. So like, if you can buy it and enjoy it and just
Yeah.
trudge through it, then you should be allowed to do that. Um,
Yeah, I
Best
agree.
Buy Best Buy is allowing returns of open copies until December 21st, which was the date that Cyberpunk said in their like apology thing.
So here's something funny about that. I used to work at Best Buy, so I have some insight here on how that's possible. So working at Best Buy, if any of you guys know, their policy is on all media, all software, so games like programs, movies, once you open it, you can't bring it back. Like that's been their hard stance on all of that.
Yeah.
And now they're doing this. That made me go, because that's so out of left field. But when I heard that they're doing this until December 21st, the same day Cyberpunk set out, I went, because I'm willing to bet CG Project Red is footing the bill on those refunds.
um,
I would not be surprised if CG Project Red is footing the bill for every refund that came through
for those
and
ones like
reimbursing Best
specifically,
Buy. I would seriously
possible
not be
because
surprised.
they did put out another apology tweet that said let's see, we will do this out of our own pocket if necessary.
Yeah.
So, you
So like
know,
stuff like that, like doesn't that's my theory. I have no way of proving that, but I've seen similar things when like you know the Samsung phone started blowing up. It was something similar. Samsung was reimbursing us for all the refunds that we had to do. Samsung was paying all the restocking fees for us and everything. So I would not be surprised if like CG Project Red was footing the bill on all those refunds for Best Buy.
but yeah, that I don't know, that time limit on it is a real fucking fuck
Oh
you,
yeah,
I
that time
think.
limit's a bastard. Yeah, dude. Like that time limit, it should not be. I understand putting a time limit on it because you know at some point it's like you gotta know. But December 21st is so weird to me. It's so soon. It's before Christmas. At least do it till like you know at least until I don't know January, like the first week of January or something. I think sounds more fair, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
Uh,
It's just this gives you a reason to speed run the game.
yeah.
Speed run the game right now, and then return it.
That is. Did you see that thing on Reddit? Kind of side note, but there's a thing on Reddit where this dude was like bitching, where he was like, "What the fuck? I got my refund from Microsoft for Cyberpunk, but I didn't know they'd take the game away. I still wanted to play it."
How could you be so dumb?
I know, dude. It's fucking hilarious. If you if you're ever on Reddit, go check it out. I think it was on our gaming and it got cross posted art choosing beggars. It was really funny.
So yesterday
Um,
they did put out the hotfix 1.05 for
mhm,
consoles yesterday, which has a long list of very specific bugs. Some of
yeah,
these bugs, um, some of these bugs I've only like some of them I've specifically seen one person talk about exactly, and then they address it exactly here, almost like they've been like watching everything that's been coming out and been like, okay, well, we got to fix that one. Like just watching every stream and like every fucking anytime anyone said any bug they had, they wrote it down. Was like, got to fix that, got to fix that. Because yeah, some of these I've only seen one person talk about, and they like said they fixed it here. But even with this hot fix, it sounds like the console versions are still not great. So, but they did address the one that I had, which I only had the one I think where Jackie didn't walk outside the building. I only had that one I think.
yeah.
Maybe
I
there was
did see
another
that was
one.
fixed too.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, I go back
it
and forth
is.
on this. Half of me is like, kudos to them for fixing it and trying to like fix it. But the other half of me is like, you shouldn't have fucking dropped the game in the first place then, if these issues were
Yeah,
there. Like, I feel so jaded from it because like I know a lot of people are gonna be like, oh, look at them, they're fixing their mistake, but this is a mistake they shouldn't have had to make in the first place, man. They should have delayed it until it was ready.
yeah.
Again, I'm
I'm
gonna
just
go back
like,
to that first teaser. I'm gonna go back to that first teaser. They said it'll be out when it's ready. Well, that was a fucking lie. Like it's obviously not ready. It's out now, and they're playing damage control. I'm not gonna praise them for playing damage control and
I just
cleaning
don't
up their
know
mess.
what they expected to happen from this. I mean, they knew the game was fucked up. I
Yeah.
mean, they knew it was fucked up, and they were like, no, just don't show them the console version, and don't let them show any footage of the PC version, and it'll be fine. Like, I mean, what did you think was gonna happen? It was like, I don't understand how this decision gets made.
Hmm.
It boggles my mind. Like you knowingly, purposely put out a busted fucking game, and what, you're surprised that people fucking are calling you out on your shit.
Hmm.
Uh, so I don't know. I'm gonna keep playing the game. I think, and I don't think I like the game, but there are parts I do enjoy the story. So like I'll play it, get the story, and yeah, just see what happens with this game in the future. Um,
And that's all we can do really is just wait and see what happens with it. I'm still gonna be pissed if this happened in the first place, you know.
yeah,
This is a game again. This is still a game I've been excited for. I want to play it, but I'm gonna wait till the fixes are all in, and I'm not gonna forget this happened either. I'm not just gonna be like, "Oh, they fixed it. It's all good now." No, it shouldn't have been a problem in the first place.
this
Like,
this really sheds some light on, because look, this isn't the first time a game's released in this state,
hmm,
but I think it's the first time that it's a game that people care about releasing in this state. Because I mean, Mass Effect Andromeda was a game people, I guess, kind of care about. I mean, it's a Mass Effect game.
yeah, but
But
Mass
even
Effect
that,
Andromeda, I will argue they didn't do the same scummy tactics. They didn't have a review embargo on it. You got to
it's
play the game early on EA access. Like,
that's the thing. It's EA, so you kind of expect it from EA.
yeah, that too.
You don't expect it from CD Projekt Red, who's been like the good guy in the industry. They've built up this reputation of like the good guys in the industry. We're gonna release all our games on GOG, DRM free.
Yep.
Hey, we're gonna add mod support. You can do whatever you want to Witcher 3. Like we're we're gonna put out Witcher on Switch because that's where we can do it. Which, by the way, that game runs on fucking Switch, so I can't believe they couldn't get this game running on fucking, PS4 and shit. But
Yeah, I agree. It's
um,
it's it's a frustrating situation, dude. And like I think that's what stings the most is you're right. Like these are the good guys doing it, and they're falling into the same trap that we expect from other big publishers, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating to a situation like that. This is the only hobby I can think about where that's acceptable. Like, you don't go to a movie theater, watch a movie, and like animations are fucked up, or like fucking edits are wrong, and they release a patch for it a month later so you can go rewatch it. That's not, no other
yeah.
industry does that. No other
Well, I
industry
would
does that except for video games.
actually. I mean, I don't
If
know
you
if you
fucking say
listen.
cats, I'm gonna slap you
No, no,
because
no, no.
that's a one in a million thing. That's the
I was I
exception, not
was
the
I was
standard.
I was to talk about the music industry, specifically Kanye West. I don't know if you listen to a lot of Kanye,
I
but
did hear about that story. I know exactly where you're going, and that is that's an exception, not the standard.
yeah, the Life of Pablo had like 13 patches. So, but
Yeah, and it's frustrating, and when it happened, people like freaked out. Like Kanye only got away with it because he's Kanye, and even then, people are still pissed at him for it. Like when it comes to video games, it's not a common thing. Well, it is a common thing. That's the problem. People just accept it. Like, oh, it's a thing that happened. That's how gaming is now. Like, no, it's like that because people are like accepting it. Like, it's weird to me that people are so. It's the only industry where that's okay, and people are just like, oh, whatever. What are you gonna
yeah,
do?
and that's why the good thing, well, the potential good thing that can come out of this for the industry as a whole is that we see this now. People see
Hmm.
this now. So are publishers going to try to get away with shit like this, knowing how fucked it is, how fucked it can get them? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Like how big this has become, especially Sony removing it from their platform.
Yeah,
Like that's like hopefully this scares others into not releasing broken ass fucking games. I don't know.
the only way to hit people and make a difference is to hit them in their wallet, man. Like, look at a weird example. Look at Star Wars. With the issues with Battlefront happening, like that. Like they're taking their Star Wars license more seriously now. Um, so it's definitely possible. I don't know if this is like, the big fart that clears out the elevator that we want it to be. But I think this might be a good step in the right direction. It might make people think twice about pre-ordering games now, and it might make developers think twice about releasing buggy, unfinished messes. At least a little bit. If this comes out, if one game in development postpones their game because of this backlash, I think it was worth it.
Yeah.
And it's a domino effect. Once that happens, the rest of the industry falls into place. I don't know. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful is what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say. I guess that's what I'm trying
In
to say. I'm hopeful.
in hindsight now, looking at all the other games that like delayed their launch because because of Cyberpunk, um who'd have known that it's not because the game is good, it's because it's a fucking shitstorm and nothing else is going to survive. Like you can't release a game in the midst of all this fucking like news. I mean the train wreck is like bigger than the fucking the train that left is, like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like
Yeah, I see what you mean. The damage is like bigger than anyone predicted.
no other piece of it's bigger than the launch itself is what I'm saying. Like people delayed their games because of this game because they thought it was going to be so good that no one else was going to play anything, but little did they know the fucking train wreck it caused is bigger than anything else. So I don't know. I'm optimistic. There's good people working at CD Projekt Red. Maybe not the management. They should probably lose their jobs. They should probably be replaced. But
Yeah.
there's talented
Let's be
people there.
honest, the management's probably not even gonna lose their bonus. I don't know. I'm a really cynical person, but
Yeah, yeah. So Cyberpunk, man, um, it's an okay game, but
it's an okay game and a bad package with a lot of
yeah,
baggage, I guess.
yeah, um,
But on the upside, though, we have one more thing we can bitch about: the Game Awards.
yeah,
um, which, if you want a summary, Last of Us won everything, but I'm a
yeah.
little salty in how some of these went. Big surprise. There's quite a bit to go over.
I
I do want to collect my thoughts, but I want to see how you felt about it. Like, what do you think?
well, I said, remember, I said The Last of Us is. Remember when we went through, and I was like, The Last of Us, The Last of Us, The Last of Us. Like, I mean, that's how I felt. That's how I would have voted. So, like, I'm not surprised on that. Um, the only surprise I had was um, best best narrative. It won best narrative. Like, that's the one thing. Like, if there was one thing about The Last of Us that people didn't like, it was the narrative.
I
So
wouldn't say people didn't like it. I think it was polarizing. People either loved it or fucking hated it. There was like no in between. No one played Last of Us. It was like, yeah, the story's okay.
but that's the
It was
game
like
you
the
play
story's,
for the story, though,
yeah,
and most
exactly.
people were disappointed by that story. I mean, I like the game, and even I'm not hot on that story. Um,
Yeah, I
I
was the same way, and that surprised me too. I'll be honest, that was another one that surprised me. But if you look at like what it was competing with, I mean, the only thing I can think of that had the chance of winning it that wasn't Last of Us was probably the FF7 remake.
uh, yeah, yeah,
Which don't get me
but
wrong, like it's cool, but Last of Us just had so much hype behind it. I think that's what did it. Um, One that pissed me off though, and this is one that I think was a fucking travesty, was so here it is, man. The best game direction. That pissed me off because if you look at their description, hold on, I want to pull this fucking page up. If you look at their description for best game direction, hold on, I'm on my fucking iPad. I'm not on my computer because that took a shit. So give me 1 second. If anyone wants to know, we do this live. So if you hear awkward
is live.
pauses,
Twitch.tv
stuff
slash
like that,
Gameverse.
yeah.
Gameverse.com slash Discord. Gameverse.com slash Twitch.
If you look at best game direction, the Game Awards, awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. Other than the story, what about Last of Us separated it from other third-person shooters? Like, be
Uh,
honest. Like you said yourself, like you were kind of indifferent to the stealth and the shooting.
yeah. No, it was a good. That's where I enjoyed the game, was the actually playing it this time. Uh, where I did
But if
not
we
enjoy.
compare it, oh, sorry, continue.
Well, I didn't. The gameplay is where they. But it's not about the gameplay though. It's about like
Yes,
um
yeah, it's about outstanding creative vision and innovation.
yeah.
You know, Hades was on that list, which I finally played. I got to play over the last couple weeks while we were out, and Hades is fucking phenomenal. You were right. I love that game. I like it a lot. I don't know if I like the gameplay more than Doom, like you said I would, but I really, really like it. But what I liked about Hades, and those of you who haven't played it yet, it's a roguelike where the roguelike is canon to the game, meaning because you know you're Greek god basically, you don't really die. You know, when someone kills you, just get sent back to the underworld, the start of the underworld. and people remember you. People you fought remember you. It's their job to do this. So you see them in the break room and they're like, "Oh, hey man, what's up? Sorry I killed you." I was like, "No, I'm sorry I killed you. I'll get you next time." And like people remember it. Even Hades like talks shit to you when you come back.
Yeah.
And it's so clever. I've never played a game that did that. A roguelike that has a ongoing story and the story continues every time you die. I've never played a game that does that. To my knowledge, I don't think I've ever seen a game that does that. And I think that should just based on that should have won best game direction. Like that's I have issues with a lot of these awards, but that's the one that's a hill I'm ready to die on. Like that's an award I think was stolen from Hades. Like I don't think Last of Us deserved best game direction at all when Hades came out that same year.
Yeah. And then like I I don't know, best performance. Like I oh god, man.
Yeah,
I
dude.
fucking love um what's her face? Shit, why's her name?
Oh shit, who
Fucking
did Ellie?
no, Laura Bailey. I love Laura Bailey.
Yeah.
But you cannot tell what scene did Abby have? What individual scene did Abby have that was better than fucking Ellie's Joel scene?
Yeah,
Or
like
any
that.
scene for Ellie. I mean, Ellie had several moments. I'm like, oh, that's good. Like, that's good. But what did Abby have? Like, I'm trying to think. Like, what performance outweighed anything that Ellie did? I have no idea. Like, Laura Bailey is great. Fucking love her. One of my favorite actors in gaming. But like, just that Ellie was so much. I mean, she had more moments. Not to mention, she had like better moments.
I totally agree. Like I don't understand. I'm not saying Laura Bailey's a bad actress, but if you compare the performances for the characters for Abby and Ellie side by side, like what did Abby do that Ellie didn't do better?
Yeah, like
And
no
again, not to
idea.
shit on Laura Bailey. Maybe it's just Ellie had better scenes. You know, the Ellie character had better scenes, so
Yeah,
Ashley Johnson had more to work with. But how can you look at like what we got, what was presented to us, and still give it to Abby? That doesn't make
yeah.
sense.
But yeah, I like that game. Like I said, the individual components of that game are like better than the sum of its parts. Um, so like I truly think it deserves to win most of the stuff that it won. But yeah, some of it was like that's a weird one. Um, Phasmophobia won best debut, which
Which surprised me. I thought it was for sure going to like
anything
basically
else.
anything else on that list. Yeah, man.
Not that
Like
Phasmophobia is bad, but like that's a rough ass game, man. Um, like it's an interesting one, very interesting, but um, you know, I'm kind of like holding off on playing that game anymore. They added a new like jail level too, and like kind of changed a lot of stuff. But Skyrim is coming to
and
Game Pass.
yes, that was really cool to see, and like all the Yakuza games. So
Yeah, well, yeah, they announced the remasters for all of those, right? And then
mhm.
they're coming to Game Pass.
Which is dope because you know any longtime listeners of the show know like we sound like shills for Microsoft with how we talk about Game Pass.
Yeah,
That's
which if you
only
don't
because
know,
like it.
you can get it. You get 3 months for $1 right now. 3 months, $1. So
And it's a
hey,
good deal.
that's
It's
a good
legit worth
deal,
it.
man.
It's
It's
a great
fucking worth
deal.
it.
There's some shit on there, man. There's some shit on there. I got it on PC and I was like blown away. I was like, what? All the Halo games are on here. All the Gears of War games are on here. Fucking now with their team up with Bethesda, they're adding they put Doom on there. They had put Skyrim Remastered on there. Now we're getting Yakuza on there too. Fuck, dude. Fuck, dude.
Yeah, like
That is such a good deal.
they're making up for their lack of exclusives with just sheer content in
Just
that Game
pure
Pass.
value. Pure
And
value, dude.
yeah,
Like, it's great. And like that's the thing that hurts the most, that my computer's down, because I realize like, oh, how limited I really am on my games without Game Pass.
Grumble says it's all good and well, but my Steam library is already full of games I need to play, so Game Pass is a bad idea for me. Yeah, maybe, but
Or, and hear me out, or it's a good idea, because now you're not gonna buy a game because you already have it on Game Pass.
yeah.
Think
Even
about it.
just to like try stuff out. I mean, it's good to just put $1 down and just be like, okay, here's here's the Outer Worlds. Like, I they're harkening back to the Fallout days of old, and I want to see if it lives up to it. So you put $1 down, load it up, try it out, and it's like, oh, this is nothing like, this ain't it, and then you uninstall it.
Yeah, it's better than dropping like $30.
I ended up reinstalling that game, so I think I'm going to get back into it and try to play it some more. But
Outer Worlds was like the first game I downloaded with Game Pass, and as much as I liked it,
yeah,
I
that was
burnt
I think
myself out with it a couple hours in. So I was like, oh, I'm glad I didn't buy it.
I think that
You
was
know
the
what I
one
mean?
for most people. I think that was the one for most people that got them in because it launched on Game Pass.
And it's dope, dude. Like, it's such a good service. It's such a good service. There's nothing wrong, there's nothing bad I can say about it.
Yeah.
Like, the worst thing I could say about that is that you might not have the hard drive space to like load all those games up, but like that's it. That's the only bad thing I can say about it.
Sephiroth coming to Smash. This is something you should talk about, I guess.
Yes. So Sephiroth is coming to Smash, and I did see the Nintendo Switch Sephiroth debut that they aired the other day on the 17th, showing off some of Sephiroth's moves. I'm excited. He looks really cool. I think it's weird to get another Final Fantasy VII character, though.
Yeah,
That's one thing that weirded me out. Like, we already have Cloud, so like it's weird to me that we got another DLC character, and it's it's another character from another non-Nintendo franchise that's already represented in the game. You know what I mean?
They could have put like
It's
Squall or Lightning.
yeah, I would have been happier with that. I could see why they got Sephiroth. He's really popular, and with the FF7 remake, there's a lot of attention on it. I'm sure like that was a huge part of it, but I don't know. It's weird to me for them to do that. But he looks like a fun addition. He's a powerhouse with a ton of reach on that sword.
Yeah.
He's got a couple little cool gimmicks. One thing I like about the DLC characters, they all have these really weird gimmicks that most characters don't have. And it kind of makes me wish that like Nintendo would go back and redo all these classic characters so they have some gimmicks too, to really separate them, because the DLC characters feel so different from everybody else. Like, all the DLC characters have something exclusive to them that nobody else has.
I think all the characters have like, well, a lot of them have like something that's like different.
What I mean by that, though, is I mean like for example, if you look at like Joker, he has this persona that he could that builds up and he can summon, and when that happens, all of his moves change. They get a damage buff. Banjo and Kazooie have that shoulder tackle that's limited. Dragon Quest Hero has a fucking MP bar and a spell book he could read from, or a list of spells he can cast. So if you want to be technical, he has like some of the most specials in the game from that. Fucking Steve from Minecraft has a crafting table, and you can actually craft stuff like that in the game. and you need to have the materials to back it up. Like these are like next level like gimmicks. Ugh, excuse me, the hiccups that separate them out. And I kind of wish like more of the base characters had that.
Yeah, yeah. I see what you mean. I think they were trying to just adhere to like the lore of the character or the game they're from.
Yeah, and that's totally fine. I'm not upset with that, but even like Nintendo characters, like when they released God damn it, what's her name from Arms? You know what I'm talking about, the Noodle Girl.
Min Min.
Yes, instead of having traditional normal attacks, special attacks, her A and B buttons are different hooks. So A is like a right punch, B is like a left punch. So you still have all those specials, those smash attacks, but now you have to pay attention to which arm you're using, and you have to pay attention to if you hit with it, you have to remember the recovery for your arm to come back. Like it's like how it actually works in arms. So like that's really cool, and I wish more and more Smash mainstays had those. I know it's never going to happen. A lot of people are going to be pissed off with like, oh, what? Now Link has a fucking item management system. What's up with this? You know what I mean? But whatever. A man can dream. Um, I got a little off topic, but I think Sephiroth coming to Smash is cool. I
Grumble
can't
says
wait to play him.
any word on when the Final Fantasy VII remake is expected to be completely done. Um, no, my
Yeah,
thoughts
nah.
are never. Um, things happen at the end of that game that kind of it doesn't bode well for how having that game out in a timely fashion. Let's just say that.
Yeah, and I saw some spoiler videos on it, and even I was like, holy shit, like where do you go from there?
Yeah, but
Like I'm sure even people who are like adamant fans of the original game like don't know where this remake's gonna go now. But I mean, we'll wait and see with that, man. They announced another couple cool things that at the Game Awards, man. Sephiroth was the big one. I think a lot of people tuned in to see Smash. Excuse me, I got hiccups like crazy, dude. A lot of people tuned in to see Smash and see what got announced there. But we got a Perfect Dark trailer, which I was not expecting. I don't think anyone was expecting that. I thought that was a dead franchise, if I'm being honest.
yeah. Well, I think there were rumors like circulating for a while. Um, my thing about a Perfect Dark is like what do you do with Perfect Dark, man? Like what do you do with it? You know, like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, because you can't just make that game again because we're past that kind of like we're past that kind of game. I think, or like what Perfect Dark
Mm-hmm.
was. We're just not we're not there anymore. You know. So then you piss off the fans. If you change it at all, you piss off the fans that just want that game. But like we already have that game. I feel like the HD remaster is like good enough, right? Like just
Yeah.
re-release that on PC and put it on
In
Game
fact, just
Pass.
release the whole Rare Replay on PC.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I think this game should just be something entirely different. Which, by the way, this is by the Initiative, which is like the Dream Team mystery guys for Microsoft's Santa Monica studio. Which they just grabbed people from like everywhere. Like they grabbed some like Naughty Dog guys. Um, they like grabbed guys from like everywhere and just made this dream team. And like they made that studio like years ago, and we had no idea what they were doing until now. So I'm super curious about this. Um,
So hear me out. I have a
yeah,
pitch for you for a new Perfect Dark game. Because a big thing about Perfect Dark the N64 game is how open-ended the missions were. You drop down a mission, depending on the difficulty, you have like a whole slew of missions you can take on, all these gadgets to play with. So hear me out. If they make a Perfect Dark game, a modern Perfect Dark game, where what's her name, Joanna Dark, is on a mission, taking on some seedy organization in some office building or something, or some facility, and you make it kind of like an open Metroidvania, not too dissimilar to Control, but make it a first-person shooter, or you make it into kind of like an immersive sim, like Prey or like Dishonored. I think
Yeah.
trying
I
to do
was
those
thinking
two
like
would work really well.
a little bit of all of that mixed in with like cuz like it's a like it's a spy game like
Yeah.
not dissimilar from GoldenEye, which is also a quote unquote spy game.
Mhm.
Uh I think they go the route of what IO Interactive is doing with James Bond. These guys need to do with Perfect Dark.
I agree. And I think
Um,
it could work if they do it right. If they don't try to like recreate, because I don't want to be that guy, but the gaming industry itself is kind of moved past level based first person shooters,
yeah,
at least for single player campaigns. And I know people don't want to hear that, but that's kind of where we're at now. And I
yeah,
think this could work if they made it like an open ended, either like a first person shooter Metroidvania or like an immersive sim like Prey or Thief or Dishonored. I think with the gadgets Joanna Dark gets, you can come up with some pretty creative stuff to make that work.
yeah. But yeah,
Again, I'm not a game designer, but I think like that would be cool. I would play that.
yeah. So this is just a little teaser to just tell you, hey, fucking Perfect Dark, guys. So people definitely want to see some more of this and see exactly what this turns out as. But yeah, I'm a fan of Perfect Dark. Um, I've been playing it on like emulator a little bit just to get just to get a little bit Perfect Dark in. But it definitely needs like yeah, it needs to be different. It needs to be different. So exciting.
Yeah, it's
Um,
super exciting. Next thing is something I was excited for. Is new Mass Effect got announced. It was a small, like 2 minute trailer, not even a trailer, it's like a teaser, and it ends with Mass Effect will continue. Didn't really show off a lot.
so
The thing that, yeah.
I'm not the Mass Effect guy here. So what's I'm sure you've picked this apart. What are we looking at?
So the big thing to look at is the at the very end. You see that thing that that woman picks up. It's an N7 logo, which is the military group that like Commander Shepard's in the first three Mass Effect games. Like that's the like the American military or the Earth military is the best way to look at it. N7 was not a prominent thing in Mass Effect Andromeda. It was its own standalone organization that did that Andromeda initiative. So this tells me this might take place in the Milky Way galaxy where the first three Mass Effect games take place. I might be totally wrong. I haven't looked into anything about it. I'm sure there's someone in the comments gonna be like, "Well, actually, BioWare already announced that the game's taking place in blah 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 blah." But that's one thing to look at is that N7 is gonna have some importance in whatever project they're looking at. And without seeing the whole face, the Asari that picks it up, the alien that picks it up, looks like Liara from Mass Effect 1 through 3. Again, might just me being racist. Maybe all those aliens look the same to me, but that looks like Liara. If
Okay.
that's the case, that adds further credence. It's connected to the first three games. Which the way that ended, I have no idea how they're going to pull that off. But I am excited, man. I love me some Mass Effect. I can honestly say that Mass Effect is probably one of my absolute most favorite gaming franchises ever. And I still play through that trilogy at least once a year or once every other year. Like that's how much I love those games. Um, so I really want to see this come back. Hopefully, we'll get some more information when they release that legendary collection they were talking about. You know, that remaster of those three games. So hopefully, we'll get some more information after that drops. But
Yeah,
oof,
I'm
dude, I'm
thinking.
excited. I just about shit myself when I saw that trailer. I mean, I
I've
was
never.
going nuts in the chat. I think if you remember.
Yeah, I haven't replayed through them. My problem, my issue with Mass Effect was that I had a fragmented experience across the board because I played the first one on PC, I played the
Hmm.
second one on PS3, and I played the third one on Xbox. So, like I was all fucked up. Like I couldn't give a fuck about the story at that point because it was not my Shepherd. But like,
Yeah, you couldn't carry over your stuff, huh?
yeah. So
Hmm.
I'm thinking I'll finally replay through them all once that remaster comes out.
That's a good way to do it, man. Mass Effect's a great game. Like I love those. I could talk about them all day, but we don't have fucking time for that. Um, I'm excited to see what else they got announced. Even Andromeda, which is easy to talk shit about, had some pretty solid combat, and I liked where the game went with it. It was kind
Yeah,
of a mix of like Mass Effect crossed with Kingdom of Amalur, with the way the progression system worked. I really liked that. I feel like with some tweaking, they can have something really special. So I'd want to see what they do with this next Mass Effect game. Again, we'll have to wait and see what happens. We'll have to wait and see what happens, but I'm excited for that something's coming out.
Bioware, by the way, is has been in the news recently because who was it? Casey Hudson left again. Um,
Mhm.
so though video games are made by more than one person, so I'm sure they'll be
Yeah,
fine. Uh, but Bioware as a whole has just been in a questionable state recently. So I'm curious as to what's happening with this, what's happening
yeah.
with Dragon Age, and what's happening with Anthem. Uh,
Oh yeah, dude. Because we got a bunch of we got a new Dragon Age coming out. They're kind of staying hush hush about, and
yeah,
there's supposed to be this like big fix for Anthem coming out, but we'll have to wait and see, man. I like BioWare, dude. I've loved BioWare since Knights of the Old Republic. You know, like that's what got me into BioWare. I've loved them since then. I love Knights of the Republic. I love Jade Empire. I love Mass Effect. I like
yeah,
Dragon Age. I never finished it, but that's more my fault. I didn't play Dragon Age till like recently, so it took me a while to like get back into that old school RPG feeling that the first Dragon Age is trying to go for.
yeah.
But I
And like
like the game.
I'm sure the
So
people
we'll
working
see.
there, I'm sure the people working there also love the history of Bioware as well. Like I'm sure,
Yeah,
you know, I'm sure a lot of the devs working on these games know they're fans of the series, right? So I'm sure they know what the fans want because they are fans. So
yeah.
it's just a matter of, well, like, is EA going to be breathing down our neck, or like is management going to be breathing
Hmm.
down our neck? Are they going to force us to do things that we don't want to do to compromise the vision we have for this game? Like stuff like that
Yeah.
is like the interesting stuff.
Yeah, and that it's crazy to think about because I'm funny. It's funny you bring that up because we're at this point, and we've kind of been at this point for a while, but it's starting to become more prevalent that the people who are making, the people working at BioWare now, who are going to be making the next Mass Effect, the next Dragon Age, probably grew up playing, Knights of the Old Republic, Baldur's Gate, maybe the first couple Mass Effect games.
Yeah,
Like we hit this point where like those games are old and the people who grew up playing them are adults entering the workforce. So it'll be
yeah.
cool to see like how that shapes these games coming out.
It was one
Again,
of the
there's no
things
way to know for sure, but
they
oh
did,
yeah,
like one of those dev, like dev blogs they did on like one of the Star Wars games. I think it was Star Wars Squadrons. You could tell like those are people who were like fucking in love with those like X-wing TIE fighter games, just Star Wars as a whole. They were like fucking foaming at the mouth just to have the opportunity to be working on Star Wars, and you can tell in the product like those games adhere to what those games were back in the days. I mean, that's very good. People love that game. Now, me on the other
Hmm.
hand, I'm like, this is it's a good game, but we couldn't like
You're saying
it.
it's kind of box standard for your
It
taste,
adheres
but
it adheres a little too much to what those games were in the past, I think. Um,
yeah,
but from what I understand, people who love those old games, that's what that game is. It's good for
yeah,
that. But yeah, it's good to see EA has been like okay recently, not like sports games aside and all that bullshit. They've been okay recently with like uh Jedi Fallen Order and Star Wars Squadrons. Like people seem to enjoy these products. So hopefully EA is on an upswing. Because there was a time when you could play an EA game and not feel shitty about it. But
yeah. I remember. I remember you can play an EA game and it was like, oh, this is a quality product.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, hopefully they return to people's good graces. Seems like they're on an
Yeah,
upswing.
yeah. We'll have to wait and see what happens, man. We do have a couple more announcements to go through. Season is the next one that got announced.
Yeah, there were some good
Um,
trailers.
yeah,
This game season looks fucking incredible, dude. I have no idea what the game
yeah, dude.
is, but I love the look of this.
Yeah, dude.
Uh
I was getting like, this is gonna sound weird, but hear me out. I was getting like Shadow the Colossus vibes from it, just with how big the world is and
yeah,
how you're on your own a lot of it. You're traveling through a lot of it, getting to the next big thing. That was the kind of vibe I was getting from it, and I think I might that's what drew me into it is that vibe and that openness. But I don't know too much about it. It looks like I think from they announced you're like cataloging creatures and like taking stories from people who live in the area.
yeah,
So it could be something really interesting. I'll have to wait to see more gameplay come out,
yeah. What struck
but it
me first
looks
was
like it's gonna be really cool.
the art style is just like fucking
Yes.
striking, man. Like there's not I've not seen
Yeah.
this kind of art style in like a long time. It reminds me of Rhyme, but even like more somehow it has like more detail in certain areas, or
I was
I
gonna
don't know what it
say it
is.
reminds me of Breath of the Wild, but like more detailed,
Yeah,
like a higher definition Breath of the Wild.
but
But I don't know. It looks cool. It looks really cool.
yeah. So yeah,
Um,
that was an interesting one.
yeah, I want to see what we get from that. God, even that last shot when he's in like that, what is it, like a grain field, like walking towards that house, like
Yeah,
that's so cool to me. Like that's totally like Breath of the Wild slash like Shadow of the Colossus. Like you're walking through this big like empty field, but you see a spot at the end you want to go to, and you see the spot get bigger and bigger as you get closer and closer. Like that sense of discovery is like really hot in that trailer, and that's what's got me interested in it. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to get some more detail about it. Another one that looks really cool is Road 96. Let me see if I can remember this. They said it was like a procedural generated road trip game,
yeah,
which is crazy to me that this game is able to generate all these crazy like moments. It's from the same guys who did Valiant Hearts, which that got a lot of positive reviews, a lot of positive rewards for its story. Um, this looks cool, dude. Like there's a lot of like events that could happen in it. There's a lot of choices you can make in it. I'm really interested to see what it looks like. And the whole thing that it's the backdrop of this country, this like war torn country that's going through its own like civil war. You're trying to cross the border to get out of it. Like that's really interesting. Like, I want to see what comes out of this.
yeah. Like it's crazy how Oh, these games just come out of nowhere. I guess the Game Awards is a good platform because millions of eyes
Hmm.
on it, but it's just these games come out of nowhere, and you're like, man, that like, how did you hide this for so long?
Yeah.
And then it's like developers
If
you've
you,
never heard of too.
oh yeah, dude. Like, I'm excited. I'm really excited for it. That's one I really want to check out when that drops. It Takes Two also looks really cool. It's from the same guys who did oh god damn it, what was that game? You know what I'm talking about. The last game they did, what was it? Oh god damn it. It's fucking blanking.
The
That
jail
Prison Break
game,
game. Yeah, the Prison Break
uh,
game.
A Way Out.
A Way Out. Yeah, so the same guys who did A Way Out. It's a similar style, but it looks like
Again,
it's taken up to the next degree. Like this looks phenomenal, dude.
this trailer is so fucking good, man. Like
Yeah, man.
this game looks so fun. like,
It
um,
does.
like I just love the way they presented it, man. It just looks so fun, hilarious.
Yeah, it's a funny. It looks like a funny, fun action, not action heavy, but gameplay heavy game, or in a fantasy setting, a really crazy high fantasy setting, with the backdrop of like a couple trying to like save their marriage.
And
Like
that's one of the
it's
things that
cool.
a lot of games don't even bother to try doing is meshing the story with the mechanics and the gameplay, right? Because the whole point is
Yeah,
that there's two of you. You can only play it in co-op, and
yeah.
the whole point of the story is that you're in like a torn relationship, and you kind of have to try to get mend your relationship together while at the same time teaming up with another player. It's like I love when games do that, man. Like
Hmm.
Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, same thing. Um,
Yeah, and I'm really into this game. When I was watching the Game Awards, I saw this trailer and I told my wife, I was like, "Babe, we gotta play this game. Like, you gotta play this game with me." And she was like, "Nah." Like she was not into it. She was not into it.
this looks
So
so
I mean, if
good,
you
man.
does, dude, if you pick it up, I'll fucking play it with you. Like I'm down to stream this game with you.
Yeah, they said you get two copies when you buy it.
See, there you go. We'll go halvesies on it, and we'll play it on stream. God, this looks so good. Everything about it, dude. Like graphically, it's really pretty. It's really colorful. I
Yeah.
like the art style. It kind of reminds me of the Puppeteer. Remember that game, that PS3
Oh
exclusive that
yeah.
came out forever ago? It reminds me a lot of that.
I didn't get to play A Way Out yet. I might have to like go back to that and
I've
play that.
never been able to play it either. I want to play it so bad. If you play it, like I'll play it with you. I wanted someone to play that game with.
Yeah.
Um, God, this looks good. What else do we get? Oh, Crimson Desert was another one.
Okay, so Crimson Desert is the sequel to Black Desert Online.
Yeah,
Um this trailer is phenomenal, dude. I mean,
yeah.
this just I don't know how they do it cuz I don't know. Black Desert that game's like $5 and it's usually on sale and you can get it for like $1. Um
It's still a pretty game. Like Black Desert's not an ugly game, but we
it's
played a
the
little bit a couple
best
years ago when it first
it
dropped.
is single-handedly the best looking MMO on the planet.
I
That is
agree.
easy to say. This I don't know how they've just taken it even further, dude. My mom walked in the room when I was watching this trailer, and she was like, "Oh, what movie is it?" Like she thought this was like a fucking movie. Um, but then at the same time, I was told her, "No, it's a Game Awards," and she was like, "They do awards for video games," and I'm like, "I'm like, okay, mom, just." But this is this looks incredible. Now
Yeah, it does. It does look incredible.
the but also like the gameplay looks like they ramped it up. Like I'm only interested in like action RPGs anymore.
I'm the same way.
So like this I don't know where the MMO is here. I mean, I don't even know if it is
Yeah.
an MMO. Because this looks too fucking good to be an MMO. It looks too cinematic to be an MMO, but
Yeah,
I
that's the
don't
first thing
know.
I was thinking of. Like Black Desert had a pretty fun like action system, but the animations are too cinematic. Like this kind of reminds me of like if you had told me this is like a sequel to like Dragon's Dogma, I would have believed you.
Yeah,
Like this looks like it could be a Dragon's Dogma game. Like the point is, it looks like a single player game. Like I'm not seeing any MMO stuff in here at all. Which if that's the case, like I personally think Black Desert, the world of Black Desert, would work better as a single player fantasy game than it would as an MMO. But I don't know.
yeah. Um, but I don't know. They did call it Crimson Desert and not Crimson Desert Online, so
That is true.
I'm not sure. But I don't know. This shit looks fucking crazy, man. The
Dude, it
combat looks
does.
so good.
I'm excited, and I'm a sucker for like action games, dude. One thing I loved about Black Desert is that it had kind of like it had a fighting system almost built into its MMO system. So when you're attacking, you have a string of combos you can pull off, but you can cancel out of those combos into your abilities. I don't know if you remember last time we played it, like years
Yeah,
ago, but
yeah,
yeah, that's one of the things I loved about it. Like it had hotkeys and stuff, hotkeyed abilities like most MMOs have, but instead of just pushing that button whenever it recharges, you're doing combos and canceling into them. And there's benefits to that, like they recharge faster, it does more damage if you can cancel into it properly. So if they take that and rework it to be more of a single player experience, I think this can be something really special. And I am excited for this. Like this is definitely one that I'm into.
yeah. So yeah, 2021 is looking good for from here, man.
Mhm.
Like if this is the kind of stuff that we're gonna be getting, it's just it's exciting, man. These I guess the next gen consoles came out, and then now we can push things even further, including on PC, because we don't have to account for like the lowest common denominator, which was fucking those old shits. Um, 'Cause this is phenomenal.
Yeah, dude. I got a boner. Do you have a boner? Because I think I have a boner.
Yeah, no, it's gone now, but
um, Next game. And this one surprised me because I didn't know what the fuck I was looking at. Because this is like a 5 minute trailer, dude. And they don't announce what it is like the very end. So I was like, what is this?
yeah,
This is Arc 2, which I was not expecting at all. I saw Vin Diesel and I saw like these fucking like weird mutant looking things that he was fighting off. And then I saw like
yeah.
dinosaurs. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, is
I
that a
thought
new
it was like
Horizon Zero
a
Dawn
yeah, I
game?
thought it was like a
Or
Horizon Zero Dawn spinoff or something. I was like, oh, they're doing like a Vin Diesel Horizon Zero Dawn like cinematic. Like I thought it was like a movie at first, but then something about this trailer just looks not right. Did you get that
yeah,
feeling? Like
yeah.
it looks super weird, especially like the blood looks
Hmm.
like it looks like a fake trailer. But
Yeah.
I don't like know exactly what it is, but
And it looks like a video game trailer. Like that's what it looks like. Like
even then, it doesn't look like it's like made in like it looks like everything's made out of clay or like
yeah.
it looks like a claymation, but a really good claymation or something. Um, I don't know. Everything just looked a little off to me. But
No, it
Arc,
looks really
man.
weird. Yeah, dude, I was
Um,
not expecting this. Like what the fuck? Like I
Arc
mean
is one of those
Arc was
games like Brawlhalla. You don't realize how big it is until fucking they make a thing about it, and you're like, oh, it's got an anime now. Oh, it's got a movie now. Oh, it's got like 12 game franchise now. It's we signed a deal with Netflix. And it's like, wait. Where are you get? Where is this coming from? Like, I played Arc, man. That game is
so did I.
still feels like early access.
Yeah, dude, and that's what weirded me out about it. Like when I heard Ark got announced, I was like, oh, another like survival game. Like that's all I thought. And then fast forward, like what, like 3 years later, it's got a fucking animated series coming out that has all kinds of people in it. It's got a sequel coming out with fucking Vin Diesel in it. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, where did this come from? Like,
Yeah.
my
So
jaw just about hit the floor when I saw they announced it was Arc 2. I was like, what the fuck? And then I
yeah,
Googled it. I went down this rabbit hole. I'm like, oh, Arc is like fucking huge.
yeah.
I
So
just didn't know because I'm not in that circle. But
yeah, but even when you play it though, like I played it like I played it the day before because it's on like game stream. It's on Xbox Game Stream. So like I booted it up
mm,
and I'm like, oh, the UI still looks like it's got like a font that's like a default like Times New Roman or some shit. Like the UI it just looked like it was still early access. I'm like, no, this game's done. uh, but and then now they're making a sequel, so it is done. But so I don't
mm.
know.
Now we'll have to wait and
Arc.
see what comes out. I mean, it would be weird if they make a sequel to the game, get Vin Diesel involved, and just repeat the same like survival formula. Like, there's gonna be something different with this. I don't know what it is, but it's gonna be something different. And I'm actually kind of impressed. I want to see what comes out, dude. Like the fact that they got Vin Diesel in on this deal is like got me like interested.
Yeah, but then they also have I don't know if it's in here, but they announced
Like that
they did
animated
an, they
series.
announced an animated series, and I don't know if you saw the names involved in that, but there's names in that too. Um,
Yeah, there's a ton of names in that. God, let me pull it back up. Like
I'm
it
like, where?
looks like hold on. It's a fucking crazy voice cast. You got Vin Diesel, Russell Crowe, Elliot Page. Like what?
Like who's giving these guys money? I just don't understand. Um, I mean, good for them, man. But like, Ark is one of those games. It's just,
David Tennant from Doctor Who. Jesus. Jesus. They got some fucking names here, dude. And like that's why I'm like I'm interested to see what they got with this because this looks I don't know where they got the balls to make their franchise this big, but good on them. I hope it doesn't backfire on them, but we'll see what happens.
yeah. And I don't like in the world of like survival games. This was not the one that I thought would be the big one.
Yeah,
Like, 'cause I know Rust is huge, but Rust doesn't have a fucking goddamn Vin Diesel. Rust doesn't have
yeah.
a animated series. Like, I don't know why this one.
Want to take a step further? Like I know, like when the game finally came out, it wasn't reviewed that well, but
Yeah,
DayZ has like a lot of history.
yeah.
As an Arma mod, like I thought that would have turned to something big before fucking Arc.
There was another game I forgot to put in here, but the Dead Space guys um announced their new game.
Oh yeah, I did see that. What was it called? Fucking like Callisto Protocol, something like that. Calico
Yeah,
Protocol.
and I don't remember if they said this. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they said it takes place in the PUBG universe.
Yes, yes, they did.
Um,
Which I don't know what the fuck that's supposed to mean. Like I don't know how that connects to that, but
uh,
that tripped me out. Like I've never been so excited for a game, and then my excitement just take a shit when I see PUBG pop up on the screen.
I mean, these guys make good. I mean, these are the Dead Space guys, so like they know how to do a good like horror, like survival horror game. But
Yeah.
the PUBG thing is like there's aliens in this game. Like what? uh, I just don't. I'm super interested to see how that connects.
Yeah,
Um,
I have no idea how that's supposed to connect to it, but fuck if I know, dude. I have no idea. Weird connection, super weird connection. But if it's attached with PUBG, one thing that's got me excited. Microsoft owns PUBG, don't they? Or don't they have like some exclusivity deal with them?
no,
No?
they were just first to the console
Okay, I
release.
thought they had like some exclusivity with them or something like they did with
It's on
Minecraft.
everything. That PUBG is owned by, I do believe, China.
Okay. This will be cool then, because I thought like if Microsoft had some sort of deal with them, they could probably get that on Game Pass. But um, I don't know. It's such a weird combination of things, dude. That'd be like I don't even know what that's like. That's like if I put out like a zombie movie and it was in the same style as like Dawn of the Dead, and I was like, oh, it takes place in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like it's just a weird combination of things. Weird combination of like what we're getting, what inspired it, who's working on it, and the universe it takes place in. Like it's a really weird combination of things.
Yeah,
But I'm interested. It's enough to get me interested, dude. Like I'm
it's
I'm
a
gonna keep an eye on this one.
it's a 2022 game, so maybe between now and 2022, they'll do some like in-game events in PUBG, kind of like what like Fortnite's doing, where they like build up to this game. That'd actually be kind of neat, actually.
That would be
Um,
super neat. Can you imagine? Like I can't think of any other franchise that's done that. Like you announce some weird thing in the future, and then as you're building up, you build up to it. Like I've
like
never like
how do
that.
we get there?
Yeah.
Find out. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, that'd be like if someone I don't have an analogy for that. I can't think of anything else other than that's like if someone made a survival horror game in the PUBG universe and you got to see how it got to that point. Like there's no the analogies in the fucking description.
Yeah. But yeah, so
Uh
that was all. I don't know. That
yeah.
was everything that caught my attention during the Game Awards. I'm not sure if there was anything else, but
That was about it for me too. We'll have to wait and see, man. There's some cool shit coming out. I can't wait to see what happens with it. Um we do have some trailers to go over or some releases. Double Dragon Neon's coming out on the Switch December 21st.
great
Which
game.
good game, good game. I like Double Dragon Neon. Um, it's kind of a slow beat 'em up. It's a really slow, very methodical beat 'em up.
I don't know about that, but
I think so. Go back and replay it, dude. Like
it's a little
it's
it's
very.
slower than most of them, but
I would say it's really slow, methodical, and heavy. But I'm not. There's nothing not to shit on it. I think it's a
yeah.
solid game. It's very methodical, is what I'm saying. You're not going to be just like mashing the attack button. I got to pay attention to spacing, when to dodge, when to dash, because the animations are so like specific.
Yeah.
It's
But I
it's
like
it's like
that.
Castlevania. Like you got to commit to what you're doing. It's like Castlevania. You got to commit to it.
I like it
Um,
better. Cuz you hit that
yeah,
dodge, you hit the dodge and then like you get a little boost. Um yeah, I don't know. I like it. I like it.
yeah, I like it too. I can't wait to see it. It's probably gonna cost like $30, Switch tax and shit. But we'll have to wait and see, man. Um, oh, I got the hiccups like crazy still. What the fuck's wrong with me? Um, oh god, we
What are
have
you doing?
December 22nd. I got hiccups, dude. I don't know what happened. Like I'm talking and suddenly it's like, oh, bleh. Weird. Um, we have Override 2 Super Mech League coming out December 22nd. I have never heard of this game. What the hell is this game?
I play this a little bit. It's like a mech version of Power Stone.
Ooh,
There you
I'm
go. That's
into
all you need
that.
to know. That's all you
I'm
need to
into
know.
that.
It's pretty good.
Okay,
It's pretty good. I got my ass wrecked when I went online with it,
I bet.
but it's pretty fun.
I'm into it. Okay, this looks cool. That's dropping December 22nd, so that'll be cool to play. Then December 23rd, we got Super Meat Boy Forever, which I'm excited for. I love Super Meat Boy. I
Yeah.
say that totally unironically. Super Meat Boy is a fucking phenomenal game. I think everybody should play it. And now we got a sequel coming out that takes some inspirations. It looks like Rayman a little bit with the way you can punch and you have this giant fist. I don't know. Maybe I'm just
It's a
like
yeah, it's a
imagining it.
I do believe it's an endless runner. Um
So I'm glad you brought that up. It
yeah.
was supposed to be an endless runner.
Was it?
It's evolved into a full blown Super Meat Boy sequel. This is Super Meat Boy 2, basically.
Oh.
Yeah, watch the gameplay trailer. There's nothing endless runner about it anymore. It is a
Well, it
Super
kind
Meat
of
Boy
is,
sequel.
but you can't really tell from the gameplay though. But because he doesn't stop running. But
Yeah, but that's just Super Meat Boy, man.
yeah,
I'm excited for that, dude. I love me some Super Meat Boy, so that'll be cool to see a sequel to it. And on the Switch, no less, because it's coming out on fucking everything. Oh
well,
no, just PC and Switch. Never mind, I'm wrong.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's interesting if this is a full blown sequel. It's having such a limited release.
I mean, nowadays, like Nintendo is like so open with indie games on their platforms. Like
Yeah, but these guys,
this, I'm not surprised that this is
Team Meat
getting
is
some exclusivity with it.
we
Um,
know these guys.
it looks like looking at the trailer, it's coming out on Switch and the Epic Store December 23rd. So for those of you who have Steam right now, it's just on Switch. But um, it looks cool, dude. I'm excited. That's all I can say, dude. I'm excited. I love Super Meat Boy. I love this is a sequel. Looks like it takes some inspiration from the new Rayman games that have come out, which I also fucking love. So I can't wait to play it, man. December 23rd. It's on my calendar. I can't wait to play it.
yeah.
Um, what else we got? We also got Who's Your Daddy coming out December
Who's your
23rd.
daddy and what does he do?
Which those of you who don't know, Who's Your Daddy is a two-player,
I don't understand
I
how
guess
this is
compare.
getting released. I
Yeah, it
honestly
looks
don't.
buggy as shit.
This is
Yeah, it looks buggy as shit.
this game's been on PC. This game's been on Steam for years.
Yeah,
And somehow it's coming to consoles, coming to Xbox One. So, um, I don't know.
it's a fun little gimmick. I mean, those who don't know about the game, it's a two-player game, and it's an asymmetric multiplayer game. One person plays a baby. Your goal is to try to fucking kill yourself, like babies do. One person plays the daddy, and your goal is to make sure your baby doesn't die, like daddies do. And that's the whole game.
Maybe this game's in a better state now than it was 4 years ago, but
Yeah, the last thing I saw was like I saw Game Grumps play it like 4 years ago, and
yeah,
it looked like an early access game. I haven't seen anything about it since then. So I'll probably look into it, see if it's worth anything now, but I don't know. And that's pretty much it for announcements, man.
yeah, good stuff.
Good stuff. We got a
Um,
lot to go over, man. If anyone in the chat has any questions, what games are we excited for?
yeah,
Um,
sorry we had to shit on Cyberpunk for about an hour and
for
a
an hour and a
half
half.
there, but uh, I don't know. I'm hopeful for that game. I think more than
Yeah,
most
same.
people. Um,
Hmm.
I don't like to see games fail. We love video games here, so
Yeah,
but
yeah, we love
some
video games. We just shit on it because we love it. Like I'm someone who loves Star Wars, but I'm probably the most critical person. I'm the first person to talk shit about Star Wars, even though I love it so much. Same thing with video games.
yeah, you got to be critical of the things you love sometimes, unless it's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
blind
you do.
love.
Yeah, you do.
Um,
In fact, I'll argue and say that sometimes I'm like more critical of the things I love.
yeah. So I don't know. I'll probably I'll continue streaming that next
Yeah.
week. I did play a little bit of that Left 4 Dead sequel,
Oh,
Back
I
for
saw
Blood.
that. Like, how is
Um,
it?
we'll talk about
I
that
didn't have a
next
chance to
week.
watch the stream. All right,
Well,
I'm
we'll talk
down.
about it next week. But if you like Left
Well,
4 Dead, it's Left 4 Dead. So
I couldn't stream it. I couldn't watch your stream because I was working when you guys were streaming it.
yeah,
But next time you stream it, let me know, dude. I want to watch it. I'll be on the show with you because I really want. That's one I'm super interested in, and because I can't play it because my fucking computer's broken. I'm not
yeah.
gonna stop mentioning that because I'm so fucking pissed about it. I can
Uh,
kind of live vicariously by watching your stream.
the archive's up on the YouTube, so gameverse.com/YouTube, gameverse.com/Twitch, gameverse.com/podcast, gameverse.com/extra life. I think that's still going on. I think. So if you got a couple dollars at the end of the year, throw it on over to our extra life. And yeah, I think that's it.
Yep. Bye, everybody. Don't sweat the petty things and don't pet the sweaty things. No advice from me to you.